everyone, it's Tiny Games here. Welcome back to my channel. Now I'm here today with a bit of a theory video, I guess you could call it. So I made this little school setting just for this video. I thought it might be kind of fun. But yeah, I basically want to talk today about Dreamsnaps and my theory behind Dreamsnaps and things like that. A lot of other creators out there have already done videos on Dreamsnaps and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to get my theory, my ideas out there. And things like that, just so that you can hear my perspective. I do talk about this a lot during the Dreamsnap streams, so it should come as no surprise really to anyone. But yeah, why don't we get into it? I'm kind of winging this. I haven't got a script prepared or anything like that, so hopefully I'm not too all over the place. But basically, I guess what I want to start with is the base of my theory. So for a long time now, I have been focusing on trying to maximize my tags and things like that to score as highly in Dreamsnaps as I can. Now, for those of you who've watched my videos and my content for a while, you'll know that there's only been, I believe, 4 weeks where I haven't hit 4K moonstones. So I have pretty much been trying to get those 4K moonstones each week. The time when I put most focus into maximizing tags, I would say, because I would say that I've always done my best to, score well with the tags. But when I first started trying to maximize, that was back in the Wally's Garden Dreamsnap. And that's when I got my rank 8. And that's what kind of convinced me to focus on trying to maximize tags. Do I maximize my tags every week? No. But I try my best to get as close to that as possible. Eventually there comes a point, like for instance in my last stream that I was doing where I was placing the decor items, I kind of got a bit bored with placing the items. I thought my tags were probably going to be quite high, and I was struggling in terms of room and stuff like that. Even though I know there was loads more items I could probably put down, I kind of gave up. I took a snap and I was sitting at around 100 and some tags, so I thought, you know what, that's good enough for me. Most weeks that's where I try and be at, is over 100 for my tags. It's obviously not possible all weeks, but that's sort of where I get to. So do I maximize my tags every week? No, but I at least try and give myself a bare minimum that I work towards. And so for a long time I've held this theory that higher tags puts you in a higher chance to score 4K moonstones. My main theory, or original theory, was that what happens is you submit your photo with your tags and that gets put into an order. So depending on how many tags you've got, the highest tag goes straight in at rank 1. And the people that have got the bare minimum kind of sit there at the bottom. And those with the higher tags get placed into an order based on their numbers. That was my theory, and then it would go to voting. And then when voting, if your photo was picked, you'd be boosted up a space or however many spaces. And if your photo wasn't picked, you'd go down. Which is a theory that I have and have had for quite some time. Now, obviously, I don't know whether that does happen. I have no evidence for that being the mechanics, but that's what I thought. That's why I'm a firm believer in not skipping photos. Because I've seen a lot of people say, oh, well, neither of these are very good, so I'm going to back out of voting. But I felt that wasn't a good like thing to do, because I felt like if you back out of voting, you're not giving someone a down vote by not giving one an up vote, kind of thing. That was my theory. Obviously there's no evidence. This was just my internal justification and process, really. So yeah, that's kind of how I thought Dreamsnaps worked, and that's why sometimes people with lower tags would still achieve high because they would get a lot of votes, and why some people with high tags would score low because they wouldn't get as many votes. That was sort of the theory, the bare bones. I have been shown some information, and this kind of adds a bit more depth to the theory and also possibly explains a lot of things. So I'll just put this on screen now for you to have a look at. This is kind of the information that the Dreamlight Leaks people would have seen. So it talks about the Bezier curve. It talks about the rank threshold. So sort of, you know, between 0 to 5%, you get the 4K moonstones or whatever it may be. 6 to 10, you get the 2,500. 11 to 20, you get the 1,500 and so forth. And it talks about the mandatory stats factor and things like that, which is where we got this theory that you've probably seen floating around showing the scores for the moonstones, and also about the 20 points for mandatory and the 20 points for suggested. But the one thing that I find is interesting with this, I don't know if this information was there when Dreamlight Leaks found it, or if it's a newer addition into it, or if maybe I'm reading this totally wrong. I'm obviously not a coder or anything like that. All this is kind of it's hard for me to understand to a degree because it's just not something I'm familiar with. I don't get all this computer stuff. But one thing I noticed was this rarity factors, and next to the rarity factors it says 1, 1.05, 1.1, 1.15 and 1.2. And I wonder if this is the real secret to Dreamsnaps. I wonder if this is what explains a lot of the scoring, when people put high tags in and still score low, when people put low tags in and still score high. I wonder if it's because of this rarity factor. Now, from what I understand, the items in game have rarity factors. And my thought or theory now is that the reason why 99% of the time people with high tags do well is because they're more likely hitting these rarity factor items. Which is why some people with low tags still do well, because they might be putting the rarity items in their snap, and the people who are putting high tags in but still not achieving it or achieving high scores, ignoring the fact of whether a photo's a good composition and stuff like that, ignoring the whole voting side of things, because they're not putting the rarity items in, or the things with a higher rarity factor, that maybe that's what's causing them to score low. So it doesn't matter if they put down 100 items, if those 100 items only have a rarity factor of 1, whereas someone who's put down 8 items with a rarity factor of 1.2 then scores higher because of that. I think that's basically my conclusion. So basically, the reason why the majority of the time a high tag photo does well is because you're more likely hitting that chance of hitting those rarity factors. So again, that can explain why a lower tag count picture does well, because they're still hitting those rarity factors. But because we don't know which items have which rarity factor, which rarity tag, it's hard to tell. Like, I don't even know where to begin as to where to find that information and get that. But yeah, I do wonder if that's the big secret all along, is that there's rarity items. This would explain as well, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, but Mr. Star and Sky has often done videos and he'll often spot a common theme in the top winning photos, and he'll go, is this what, is this the one common thing? And I wonder if it's because those items have a high rarity factor. Could that be the real reason why certain top scoring images kind of look similar? Because they're all using the same rarity tag items. Maybe that's a possibility. I'm not sure. I just think it's very, very interesting. And I think it also explains some other things. Like, for instance, with the villain challenge that we did quite a while back, there was a lot of high scoring winners that did Ursula setups. And there were some great setups using Scar and Maleficent that didn't seem to score as high despite being absolutely stunning photos. And I wonder again if it's because of this rarity factor. And I do wonder, do premium items hold a higher rarity factor than non-premium items? I mean, I don't know. But could this be a thing? Could that be why the Ursula submissions did so well? Because of those strong rarity tags? That is potentially why, but obviously I don't know. This is all just a theory, and I probably should have prefaced this video by saying that this is just a theory. Like, obviously, I'm not telling you this is exactly how it works. This is a theory. So please understand that I'm not, like, I'm happy to be proved wrong if someone can, kind of thing. But yeah, I do sort of wonder if this is the real secret to Dreamsnaps, and why I will still continue to recommend to people that they place as many tags as they can. Because I think it does boost your chances, but obviously, like I said, who knows. Again, yeah, it's just one of those things that I've noticed. Like, I've noticed since trying to maximize my tags, I've been doing very, very well. Obviously, Dreamsnaps is based on percentages, so obviously the more people who start doing well, doing better, doing stronger, the harder it's gonna get, in a sense, because it's done on a percentage. So the top 5% get those 4K moonstones. So eventually, if everyone has the same base score that's really high, that competition gets stiffer, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, there are a lot of variables. I think votes do matter. I think votes absolutely 100% count. I'm not saying they're not relevant. But I'm saying we talk a lot about tags and having high tags to get you a good base score, to get you in the Dreamsnaps ranking, to give you a higher chance of 4K. And I wonder if these rarity factors are the real base score sort of contribution, if that makes sense, and why high tags still the majority of times do well, because you're more likely getting these rarity items. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this theory. What do you think about this? What are your own thoughts and theories with Dreamsnaps? I'd love to hear them. I am doing a thing in Discord where we're going to be doing like a monthly recap of the results. We'll have a look at things like ranking, tags and stuff like that, and we'll sort of compare and see, which I think is going to be really fun to do. Another thing that I also want to touch on is actually to do with kind of tags and ranking and such like that. Just bear in mind that the tags and ranking, I think, will kind of change for every challenge. So one thing I want to point out is in the It Came From Outer Space challenge, there wasn't as many items that fit the Wally and the futuristic tags. I think when you go into it, there's only about between 30 to 50. So placing 30 items down for a Wally for that Wally submission was fairly high, because 30 to 50 was kind of the max that you could get. So that would be high. But on a challenge like, for instance, this mini challenge, you can place hundreds of items. So 30 suddenly isn't so high on a scale, which is why I think we also need to consider that when people talk about having high tags. What do you mean by high tags? What is a high tag to you? Is 30 a high tag? Because for me, like for instance, on this mini challenge, my tags are around the 100 mark. They're low hundreds, like 110, 120, something like that. And I thought that was quite high, but I've been seeing a lot more submissions in my own Discord, at least, with tags, and actually some others, to be fair, actually, because I do lurk in a lot of Discords. People with tags of sort of the high hundreds to 200 kind of thing. So I suddenly don't feel like my 100 is a very high tag. But I shared my photo on Facebook and I had a ton of people going, oh my God, how did you get tags that high? And then right after that post, I seen someone else post their picture and it had like tags of 20 or 30. And other people were saying, oh my God, those are high tags. And I'm like, they're not high tags. But obviously that's because I create photos at 100 tags. But for some people, 20 to 30 is high. So I think that's another thing we need to consider when people say, oh, I had high tags and I didn't score as well. How high were they? What is a high tag number for you? Because I think that can make all the difference. But like I said, maybe this rarity factor is what makes the biggest difference when it comes to this base score with Dreamsnaps and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess this is my theory. Sorry if I've waffled on a lot. I mean, it's been like 16 minutes of pure conversation. And I've probably done a lot of back and forth, so I hope I haven't confused any of you. But I guess for now, what I would say to Dreamsnaps is keep aiming for high tags. I think it's one of the best things you can do. But also make sure your photo is pretty well composed and things like that, because just placing down a junkyard of items, I don't think guarantees you success, because I think votes still do play a part. But I do have this theory that prior to the voting stage, everyone is ranked based on their tag count. And then I think the votes play a part after that. So I think to get you into the strongest position before the voting stage, you have to hit those tags high. Fingers crossed you get those rarity items and that makes a difference. And yeah, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this theory. Could this explain why so many high ranking submissions look similar? Could this explain why if you're using high tags, you're not hitting that 4K mark? Like, let me know in the comments down below, because I'd really love to have a discussion about this. You're also welcome to join my Discord. I'm fully happy to talk about things in Discord. And if you want to contribute to kind of like the scores and stuff like that I'm hopefully going to be reviewing and maybe making a bit more sense of this, then yeah, join the Discord and everything like that. It'd be great to have you in there. Yeah, I've waffled on long enough. I will wrap it up here. If you have any questions, leave them down below, because I'm happy to continue this conversation. But this video is getting on a bit and no one wants to hear someone talking for like 20 minutes. They're going to get bored. So let me say bye here and we can continue the conversation, because I really do get kind of excited by all this. So yeah, thank you for watching and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!